It is 5:21 p.m. June 5th, 2023. I'm opening the public hearing for the Annual Action Plan 2023-24 Program Year, public hearing number 2. The public hearing notice was published on May 20, 2023, 10 days waiting period. The public hearing today is June 5th, 2023. The public hearing will discuss the $959,756, the allocation by HUD to Dearborn Heights, plus $100,000 estimated program income from the rehab program, which will be allocated as they come next year. I'm moving to next slide, which is the budget allocation for this year. I'm gonna explain, scroll down what this is about. The first, as I'm reading the title, Dearborn Heights Public Hearing Number 2, Community and Economic Development Department, CEDD, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG Program Year 2023-24, Proposed Requested Draft Budget. The first block, it's in pink color, will be the fiscal year 2023-24 CDBG entitlement. The allocation is set at $959,756. The estimated program income, which is for some reason missed, it's $100,000, and the public service, which is 15% cap on the total of both estimated program income and the CDBG allocation, multiplied by 15%, there will be $152,963, which is the most we can allocate for public services. Later on, you'll see how that works. The second block, which is in light blue, it is the administration planning. The same thing is the first line is CDBG entitlements, $959,756. The second one, which is missing, it's set at estimated $100,000 for that year. And for the total, multiply by 20%, which is $200,951. That's the maximum we can spend on planning and administration, which includes salaries, which include the cost of studies, field surveys, consultation, legal fees, other fees. Now we are moving to the total funding, which illustrated in green, and that's self-explanatory. The entitlement is $959,756. Estimated program income for 2023-2024, $100,000. The total available fund for next year, which is 2023-24, from the new funding will be $1,059,756. Let's just remember that this is only the program funding for 2023-24. which most likely won't be spent next year because we usually are on 5 years program spending, not as the municipal budgetings or local budgeting, which is zero down and move to the general fund balance every year at the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30 of every year. This is different. This is a continuation for up to 5 years. So in 2023-24, most likely we will be spending money from the fund balances of the outstanding project which been approved in the past years, and they are ongoing or they will be worked on during this year. So the spending during 2023-24 includes some of those program spending plus or almost more of the previous year's program, which is ongoing, which is still in progress. So now let's move down to the coming year of 2023-24. That's the proposed draft for allocation table. That's actually, it's a request. So the table you see here with all the data are based on accurate data that we already reviewed and received and confirmed by HUD. This will go on the city budget for consideration, and according to the state charter of accounts, and will be illustrated in the requested column of the budget of the Fund 103, which is assigned according to the state treasury, the state of Michigan Treasury Department chart of accounts, as being posted and requested as a budget center of the CEDD, which is Community and Economic Development Department, to be presented to the controller of the city. The controller discussed that with the mayor and decide to put whatever, according to the city budget. Most likely it will be the same numbers in the proposed budget to the city council. It could be different, but that's between the controller and the mayor to be presented for primarily approving the proposed allocations by the council. The best choice is not to defer and to have a variance between what the council approved on June 6, 2023, and what we are going to propose to the council later on the annual action plan, the AAP, which will require also a 1 month, which will require to be published, and 1 month comment. After the comment, we have to submit the final draft to the council again to approve it. So if there is a deviation, that will trigger will trigger, if it's more than 25% variation, will trigger a third public hearing, which will be very difficult then to meet the deadline, which is August 16 of 2023. That's why that we have to coordinate, and that's, I think, is already done. I did consult and review this with the controller, and she will be taking care Ms. King, the controller of the city, will be taking care of the details and the proposed budget for tomorrow. This is very important to note that the annual action plan will have to be published, and the publishing notice also needs 10 days to be published also and require 30 days waiting time before we formulate our annual action plan for 2023-24, according to federal /HUD /CPD /CDBG the charter requirement. So let's start the first line, which is, on the first column, you will find the account numbers that they are a budgetary account number that refer to in the general ledger. The national objective, which should be low, moderate clientele, which is mean the LMC, which is considered as low and moderate income, senior citizens, persons with disability. They are under the ADA guideline, so they are considered, also considered to be like battered women, disadvantaged kids. But for this particular budget, we have two categories under LMC. They are the seniors and the disabled person. We are proposing, the proposal came from the Building and Engineering Department. The director is responsible on presenting, his budget center. That's part of the budget center, but it's not included in his general fund budget because this is paid by the general fund unrestricted pool and paid back to the general fund later on, so it's wash. The proposal, we are allocating $215,000 to do citywide update, replace all the accessible entries to the intersections citywide. Must be certified and in compliance with the ADA, American with Disability Act accessibility guideline. The second line, which is also under LMC, also it is for Eaton Center. Again, the budget center of the Park and Recreation in the city requested this particular funding, and the funding is set at $188,842. That's in addition to what we have from previous years. If we move to next one, which is Berwyn Center, also requested by the Recreation and Park and Recreation Director, responsible for the budget center for her department at $150,000. Also, that's in addition to what we had in the past. It's about over $600,000 already allocated to this particular center. That include asbestos, include doors replacement, include some of the IT update, and include also installing a backup generator and possibly HVAC. Same as with Eaton Center, the difference is Eaton Center we don't own, we lease, and Berwyn Center we own, and it's part of the city assets. We move down to general admin. Again, general administration is set not to exceed $211,951. That's $20,000 from program income and $191,951,000 from the entitlement, which is being reserved for us by HUD for 2023-24 program year. We received the confirmation in February of this year, so those are solid numbers. Again, it should not exceed the 20%, which being illustrated back here on the second block, the third line, 211 and 951. Let's move down to number 4 with number 5, which is the code enforcement, including building ordinance and animal control. This is actually being proposed by both budget centers directors. They both agreed it's for the building engineering department and the ordinance department. They share this. Whoever gets spent first, paid first. It's set at $135,000. That includes the salaries of the inspectors who perform activities, code enforcement activities in the low and moderate area. We have in the city 25% of the city census tracts are considered to be the lowest ones, considered to be low and moderate income, regardless of the level of where they are. We are working right now on trying to establish the city as a citywide to be low and moderate income. We are at 51.9, and we should be we are at 50.9%. We should be at 51% to be considered. We are working on it. Hopefully we will. We tried and we failed because the census data did not change yet from 2020. Again, fair housing, it is under public services, which is, we award that every year. It is, we are required to track and get a report by the end of the year about the fair housing, whether we are in compliance, complaints. We consider that when we do the data reporting to HUD. They want to know how Dearborn Heights doing, and this is part of the requirement. The Fair Housing Center in Metro Detroit, collectively with other cities, make contribution, and they provide us at the end of the year with that report, which is very important report that will be included in our final reporting at the end of every program year. Number 7 is the senior citizen services, including Eaton and Berwyn Center activities. So mainly, well, again, this is being requested by the Director of Park and Recreation, which she is responsible for the 2 senior centers, and those centers provide a huge, multiple service to the seniors, and to make it simple and to make it clear, to make it transparent, we pay a portion of the salaries of the staff that those staff provide services for the seniors in both centers. We collect data and we report data about how many, what kind of services. Those data are private. We only use the numbers. We are not required to have any names or any demographic personnel data at all. Again, we go to the total. It's $1,059,756. A part of that, the entitlement, which is $959,756, which is, if we go up here to the pinky colored block, we see that the CDBG entitlement. And if we go to the next one, which is the $100,000, which is actually, if we go up there, we'll see it is part of the total calculation, which is, set at estimated value of $100,000. It may be less, it may be more. Now, if the program income changed or received more, the allocation will again, that's the program income allocation column, will be adjusted accordingly, and that will trigger a budget amendment to the controller of the city, which will be presented to the city council for approval to actually change the values on the general ledger under Fund 103, which is a CDBG, which is part of the general fund open account, which is between 105 and 103 and 105. Again, this budget, so I stop here and say, if you look at the blue, which is the line below the green, it says that this budget accommodated, the requested data adjustment by the council during the budget hearing. I reduced, and worked with the budget. So this is the final requested, not proposed, requested and proposed for this particular public hearing or for the annual action plan for CDBG. It is not, may not be what you see on the budget proposal from the city controller. I recommend that to be the same to avoid, triggering amendment and triggering maybe another public hearing, which will put us way back, and we may have to request extension if we can't meet. Remember, if we have public hearing number 3, then we have another publishing, we have another month's waiting period for the AAP. Anyway, just to mention that, here CEDD, requested salary is $95,000. The grant coordinator, it is $38 per hour. They all work, like this particular employee work max 16 hours as set, and the project specialist based on $35 per hour and work max 28 hours per week. Administrative affairs specialist also, requesting $25 per hour, and also max working 28 hours per week. Now, under F, I just read the CED staff total compensation are budgeted within the CEDD, CDBG, active open programs and a project according to the time allocation report, which is done every 2 weeks. So the total budget for the staff, who's serving this and other, right now we have 27 different projects we are working on in this department. So wherever the staff works, including myself, the director, wherever we work on that project, that will be, sometime direct cost, if we can identify it. Otherwise, we'll use the admin money in case we can't, allocate to perfectly or to the best of our knowledge to be able to prove that our work on that project. Otherwise, most of the time we are over funded on the admin unless we have studies we have to do with weight trim or field research or some legal and title search real estate related to the rehab projects, which in process we have about 14 projects right now. If we go down to the final, this is actually the final proposal request to be for the public and being reviewed and presented to the council, to the controller in the past, public hearing and during the public hearing number 1 and during the budget hearing in front of the council back in April 18, 2023. Now, again, H, which is notice for the proposed fiscal year 23-24 action plan, AP draft. We need 30 days public comment after we published. We'll be publishing that next week, and we have to wait one month for public comment before we come back to the city council for approval. Again, explaining final proposal of 2023-24 action plan will be presented to the city council for approval in July sometime. First public council meeting, second Tuesday of July, and thereafter will be submitted to HUD after we finalize it and work on it and prepare it, document it, and attach all the documentation needed on or before August 16 of 2023. With that presented and said, if there is any question or comment. I am seeing no public, no comment. Therefore, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. With no further discussion, at 5:49, I'm closing the public hearing number 2 for the CDBG fiscal year, program year 2023, presented by Mr. Hassan Jamal, the Director of the Community and Economic Development for the City of Dearborn Heights. It's part of the process of finalizing and submitting the required annual action plan for the CDBG funding. You may have a good evening, and thank you, and have a great day.